Hello guys, welcome to Java Python Interview Hub. From this video, we will start a top 30 object oriented programming questions asked by the interviewers for the freshers. So let's begin without wasting any single minute. So the first question, what is object oriented programming? Short answer will be object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm based on the concept of objects that contain data and methods. So, OOP principles, object-oriented programming helps organize code using objects and classes. Main principle of OOP are abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. So, one simple code example here, car is a class and start is a method of car class. So, the simple summary of OOP makes Java code reusable, scalable and easier to maintain. So, next question, what is a class in Java? So, class definition. A class is a blueprint for creating objects. So the explanation would be a class defines fields and methods that an object will have. It is not actual memory, it's just a definition. Fields means variables that store data, methods, functions that define behavior, constructors, special methods to initialize objects. Simple code example, here animal is a class, string name is a variable and void speak is a method that will simple print the animal speaks. Right? So here in animal class there is a one variable and one method. So summary, classes define the structure and behavior of objects in Java. Our third question is, what is an object in Java? So, the short answer, an object is an instance of a class. Instance, a concrete occurrence of a class. Memory occupies actual memory space and the state has specific values for its fields. So, explanation, objects are created from classes. They hold actual values for fields and allow method execution. So, your simple Java code example is, here animal is a class, name is a variable, speak is a method of animal class. Now, we have another class, taste. In that particular taste class, we have created a main method from your Java program execution will start actually. Now, we have created animals object A and then after we have stated the name variable value using the object A. The value is dog and then after we have called a speak method using the object of animal class. Right guys? So, objects bring classes to life and hold real data in Java. Now, the next question is, what is inheritance in Java? So, the definition, inheritance is the mechanism where one class acquires the properties of another class. You can also say that creating a new class from an existing class is also called inheritance. So, it helps in code reuse and method overriding. Extends keyword is used for maintenance in Java. So, code reuse inherits fields and methods from parent class. In method overriding, customize behavior in child classes. And the third one, extends keyword syntax to establish inheritance relationship. So here is a simple code. You can see that again animal class, void eat is a method, Now class dog extends animal and the method of dog class is bark. So now dog class can use bark, the method of itself. Also it can call the eat method from the animal class. So you only need to create an object of dog class and you are able to access the properties of dog class as well as animal class. So the summary, inheritance helps in extending the behavior of a class. Through inheritance, subclasses can reuse code from parent classes while adding their own unique functionality. Now, the next question is, what is polymorphism in Java? So the short answer will be what? Polymorphism allows the same method to behave differently based on the object. So there are mainly two types of polymorphism. One is compile time polymorphism, also known as method overloading, resolved during compilation based on method signature, and another type is runtime polymorphism, also known as method overriding, resolved during execution based on object type. So explanation is these two types from the foundation of polymorphic behavior in Java. So here is one code example. Here animal is a class, void sound is a method of animal class, that is something printing. Now class dog extends animal and the method also sound is there. So you can say that here is a method overriding. Class dog's sound method is overriding the sound method of your animal class. This demonstrates runtime polymorphism through method overriding. So summary, polymorphism enables flexible and dynamic code behavior. Write once defined methods with the same name behave differently. Okay, methods adapt based on context. Flexible code means more maintainable and flexible. Our next question is, what is abstraction in Java? So hiding complexity, showing functionality, right? So abstraction hides internal details and shows only essential feature to the user. This is your exact answer you can give in your interview. So explanation would be, abstraction is achieved using abstract classes and interfaces. It reduces complexity by hiding background implementation. Java code, here abstract class animal and it has one abstract method. You cannot create an object of abstract class. Also in abstract class, if you are creating abstract method, then there will be no body part of your abstract method. So here class dog extends what? Animal. Now void make sound, a method that is actually override by the dog class from your animal class. So dog class must have to define abstract methods defined in animal class, right? So summary is, abstraction simplifies code and improves focus on what an object does. Now our next question is, what is encapsulation in Java? So data protection and access control. So short answer will be what? Encapsulation is the process of wrapping data and code together. How encapsulation works? So private fields, making fields private restricts direct access from outside the class. Public method, providing public getter and setter methods allows controlled access to data. These techniques work together to protect data integrity. Here is one example. Student is a class. So here is a one private variable age and one public method get age. So it will only return the age variable. Now the public void set age method actually sets the value of age using the variable a given by a parameter. So this age field is private and can only be accessed through the public methods. Right? So summary will be encapsulation secures data and makes the code more flexible and maintainable. For the data security, prevents unauthorized access, control access, validates data before changes, and maintainability easier to modify implementation. So our next question is, what is the difference between overloading and overriding? Same name, different behaviors, right? So for overloading, you can give the short answer, what? Same method name, different parameters in a single class. And overriding, same method signature in a subclass at runtime. So in overriding, you need an inheritance. So for overloading, improves code readability by allowing multiple methods with the same name but different parameters, resolved at compile time based on method signature. While overriding allows dynamic method behavior based on the actual object type, resolved at runtime based on the object's class. So overloading improves code readability and overriding allows dynamic method behavior. Here is one example. See, class demo has two methods and both has a name show, but both has a different parameter. One has an integer and another has string. While child class extends demo, here child class also have the show method with one integer parameter. So you can say that child class show method overrides the demo's show method with integer parameter. The demo class demonstrate overloading with two show methods, while child class demonstrate the overriding. So the simple summary, compile time means overloading is resolved during compilation based on method signatures. Runtime, overriding is resolved during execution based on object type. Both are example of polymorphism in OOP but work differently. You have to mention these things in your answers. So next question is, what is constructor in Java? The short answer is, constructor is a special method used to initialize objects. Explanation would be, is called automatically when object is created. There are mainly default constructor, parameterized constructor. There is one also available that is called as a copy constructor. But let's mainly concentrate right now on default and parameterized. Here is one example. Here class name is student. One string variable is their name. So you can say that student with no return type, right? And then after one argument, same name as the class name. You can see that here string argument given in a student, so it is a parameterized constructor. Void display is also a method, it will print the name only. So summary, constructors simplify object creation and setup. Next question is, class versus object in Java. So what is the difference between class and object? Short answer is, class is a blueprint while object is the instance of that blueprint. So here is a simple explanation. Class has definition, no memory, while object has memory and real values. So explanation is, class has definition, no memory, object has memory and real values. Here is one example, class car, one variable, string color, one method, void drive. So public class test has a main method. It has one object of car class C. Using the object of C, you can see that the value of color is given red, and then after drive method is called using that object. So the summary is, object is real thing while class is only a concept. So next question, the this keyword in Java. What is the use of this keyword in Java? The this keyword refers to the current class instance. So the this keyword is used to refer current object, resolve variable shadowing, call constructor from another constructor. So you can see that one example here, one employee class, string name, variable, employee, one parameterized constructor. So the value coming from the parameterized constructor is actually given to the class variable name using the this keyword. Right, and then after one display method is that, okay, and in that display method, see that we have printed a name using the this keyword because this belongs to the class only. So this helps differentiate between class fields and parameters. Now the super question of Java is, what is the use of super keyword in Java? One of the most important keyword in Java. Okay, so your short answer will be what? Super is used to access parent class members. The explanation would be, super allows calling parent class constructor, accessing parent class fields and methods. Here is one example. You can see that here animal is a class, one string variable, type is equal to animal, value, sound is a method. Now class dog extends what? Animal. So in display method you can see that super.sound. So now super.sound will call the method of animal class, okay, using the super keyword directly. Using super you can access the variables from your immediate base class. So summary, super is useful in inheritance to avoid conflict between parent and child. So that's why it is called the super keyword. Right guys? Let's move to next question. What is final keyword in Java? Another important keyword of Java. So the short answer is, final is used to restrict the modifications. So if your variable is final, it creates a constant that cannot be changed. If your method is final, cannot be overridden in subclass. And if your class is final, cannot be extended by other class. So in that example, you can see that final class, final int value is equal to 10. So if you declare class A is a final, then you cannot inherit it. If you declare variable value is equal to 10, then you cannot change its value during this program. And you must have to give the variable value while the declaration, if it is final. And final show, so we cannot override that show method in your derived class. Right? So this example shows all three uses of the final keyword in Java. So the summary, final provides safety by preventing changes to data and behavior. Next question is, what is the difference between interface and abstract class? So interface is 100% exception till Java 7, right? While abstract class, it is a partial abstraction. So the explanation is, for abstract class can have method body, can have constructor, can have variables. While in interface, all methods abstract by default, no constructor, only static final variables. So here is example of interface as well as abstract class. So interface is declared with the interface keyword. You cannot create an object of interface, as well as you cannot create an object of abstract class also. By default, all the methods of the interface are abstract, but in abstract class, you have to declare abstract method using the abstract keyword. So this example shows the basic syntax difference between interfaces and abstract classes. So the summary is, use interface for contracts, abstract class for basic logic. So next important question, what is method overloading in Java? Short answer will be method overloading allows multiple methods with the same name but different parameters. So method overloading, it is called as compile time polymorphism. Method overloading is a compile time polymorphism. Same method name, all overloaded methods share the same name, different parameter list, and the return type can vary, but it alone doesn't constitute overloading. Right? So here is one example. We have one calculator class, int add method with 2 parameter, double add with again 2 parameter, again int add with a 3 parameter. So the all method name is add, but they all have a different parameters. So this example shows 3 overloaded version of the add method. So summary, method overloading increase code reliability and the flexibility. Right guys? Let's move to next question, and it is, what is method overriding in Java? So your short answer will be what? Method overriding occurs when a subclass redefines a superclass method. Same signature must have same name, return type and parameters. It is mainly a runtime polymorphism. Only instance methods can be overridden. Then access modifier should not reduce visibility. So here class animal has a one sound method and dog extends animal, right, and it has also a sound method. So you can say that dog sound method is override by animal sound method. So overriding is used for achieving runtime polymorphism. So let's move to the next question. Can we override private methods in Java? Is it? Short answer, no. Private methods are not inherited and thus cannot be overridden. Because private methods belongs only to the class. They are defined in the visibility of the class. They are not visible to the child class. So you can see that here a parent class has a one private method display. Child extends parent class and private method display. In this example, both parent and child classes have private display methods, but they are completely separate methods. So these are two separate methods, not an override. Now again another important question, what is constructor overloading in Java? Short answer is yes, constructor can be overloaded like methods. The explanation would be constructor overloading means defining multiple constructors with different parameter list. Here you can say that student class have a 2 variable name and age. It is a one default constructor with no parameter. It has one parameterized constructor with string name argument, and it has another parameterized constructor with name and age argument. This student class demonstrates constructor overloading with 3 different constructors. So the constructor overloading enhances object creation flexibility. Now the next question is, what is the use of instance of keyword? The short answer is, it checks if an object is an instance of a specific class or subclass. So the Boolean result returns true or false. Exception prevention prevents class cast exception, and downcasting used for downcasting. So you can see that here class animal with no variables and methods, class dog extends animal, no variables and methods right now. Public class stays, public static void main method have animals object, and then after you can print the A instance of dog, then it will return true. A instance of animal, then it will return true, because we have extended animal class in dog. So it will both return true. This example demonstrates how the instance of operator checks if an object belongs to a specific class hierarchy. So it is useful in type checking and safe casting. Now the next question is, what is abstraction in Java? Abstraction is the process of hiding implementation details and showing only the functionality. Implementation achieved using abstract classes and interfaces. Focus is on what an object does instead of how it does. Benefits: reduces complexity and increases the security. Here is one example. See, abstract class shape has one abstract method. Class circle extends shape class. So it has to define, must have to define draw method. So abstraction helps in managing complexity in large systems. Now the question, what is encapsulation in Java? Encapsulation is binding data and methods into a single unit called a class. Right? So achieved using private variables and public getter setters. The main purpose is data hiding and controlled classes. Benefits: helps in maintaining code integrity. You can see that here student is a class, one private variable string name, void set name and get name is a getter setter. You can access your private variable using the getter setter. So one variable with a getter setter, you can explain it as an encapsulation's best example. So encapsulation improves security and maintainability. So let's move to the next question. Difference between abstraction and encapsulation. So abstraction hides implementation details while encapsulation hides internal data. The features, let's mainly checked with focus. In abstraction, it will focus what to do, while in encapsulation, how to protect data. Achieved with, in abstraction, interfaces and abstract classes, while in encapsulation, classes and modifiers. The purpose of abstraction is reduce complexity, and for encapsulation, increase security. So you can see that here is one example of abstraction with abstract class vehicle and with one abstract method start. But with an encapsulation, class car has a one private variable, and for accessing that private variable there is a getter setter. Right? So summary is, both help organize code but serve different purpose. So next question is, what is the difference between compile time and runtime polymorphism? Again, the one of the most important question. So compile time polymorphism means method overloading, while runtime polymorphism is method overriding. So let's compare it with the type of achieved by. So compile time polymorphism is achieved by method overloading, while runtime polymorphism is achieved by method overriding. Compile time polymorphism binding called early binding, while runtime is called the late binding. For the flexibility purpose, compile time polymorphism is less flexible, while runtime polymorphism is more flexible. Here is one example. See, class Kelsey, it has one sum method. It will return the sum of a plus b, double sum. So method's name will be the same, but parameter is different, that is compile time. While in runtime, you can see that animal class is a sound method. Also dog class extend the animal class, and it also have the same sound method. So this is your runtime polymorphism, that is actually called the method overriding. So summary is, understanding polymorphism helps improve object design. So next question is, what is the use of super keyword in Java? Short answer, super refers to the parent class object and is used to call the parent methods or constructors. So it will access parent class method. The super keyword allows child classes to call methods that have been overridden in the parent class. Right? Using super calls the parent class constructor, which is essential for proper inheritance. And when parent class and child classes have variables or methods with the same name, super helps distinguish between them. See, in animal class we have a sound method. Dog extends animal class, we also have a sound method. But in dog class, sound method, see super dot sound. So it will call the sound method of your animal class. So from your derived class to your immediate base class, you can use super keyword. So super helps to access overridden or hidden members of your parent class. So the next question is, can we override a static method in Java? Is it possible? So short answer, no. Static methods cannot be overridden, but they can be hidden. So for the class ownership, static methods belong to the class, not to instances. For method hiding purpose, when redefined in a subclass, it is called method hiding, not overriding. And for reference type binding, JVM calls method based on reference type, not object type. So you can see here parent is a class, display is a static method, child extends a parent, again display is a static method, and in the main class, when we have created one parent object using the memory of your child, see parent P is equal to new child, P display, so it will only output the parent class. So static methods are not polymorphic. Static methods are not polymorphic is the summary of your this question. So our next question is, what is the use of this keyword in Java? So this refers to the current class object. Current object reference used to refer to current object. Resolves variable shadowing, calls another constructor in the same class. You can see here student class have one variable name, one constructor with a parameterize. So it will give the parameter value to the class variable name. Void display method, it will show this dot name means current class variables. So this helps avoid naming conflicts and improves readability. Now, what is constructor chaining in Java? So, constructor chaining is the process of calling one constructor from another. So, its implementation achieved using this and super, code reuse improves code, and execution order, first statement in constructor must be this or super. You can see one string name and age variable, student default constructor, and another student with parameterized constructor. So summary, constructor chaining helps to avoid code duplication, right? So again constructor chaining. Constructor chaining is the process of calling one constructor from another, right? So we have already seen that particular question. Let's move to the next. Final, finally, finalize, and object relationships. So final is constant or sealed. Finally, cleanup block. Finalize, garbage collection. Final prevents modification. Finally executes after try catch. Finalize called before garbage collection. So here final class A, final void show. So final class, you cannot inherit it. Final show, you cannot override it. In another example, try and catch and finally block. Final block will be called every time, whether the exception is generated or not. And the last one is finalize method for your garbage collection. So final class and method cannot be extended or overridden. Try catch finally block always executes, and finally finalize method called by the garbage collector. So these are often confused but serve different roles in Java. And the question number 30, what is the difference between aggregation and composition? So aggregation has a relationship weak, while composition part of relationship, it is meant strong. So aggregation has a relationship objects can exist independently. Example, student and address. While composition, part of relationship, child cannot exist without parent. An example, car and engine. So the features for the dependency, aggregation is independent while composition is dependent. For the lifetime, aggregation can exist alone while composition cannot exist alone. Here is one example, class address has one variable string city, class employee has a reference, you can see that address, it is a reference, while class engine, one default constructor, class car has one private engine object, so it will called as a composition. While address reference, you can see that it has worked as an aggregation. So use composition when life cycles are tightly coupled and aggregation for weak relationship where objects can exist independently, and composition strong relationship where child objects cannot exist without parent. So this is the most 30 important question of object oriented in Java, right? If you like, then please like, subscribe and comment to our YouTube channel Java Python Interview Hub. Thank you very much guys. We will meet in the next video for amazing questions for the freshers. Thank you very much.